Hey everyone, Shabim here and welcome back to another random match here on WWE 2K19. Now this one has been suggested by Reborn Punk 2006 and it is going to be a triple threat match with Toni Storm, Trish Stratus, but first of all we have got Sharai, which I actually believe is a pretty good core. It's a shame we've not really got much place to use it at this point in time, but I don't know, I'm sort of half dabbling in my mind of a Japanese Women's Championship as part of our New Japan Universe maybe. I don't know if there's going to be enough women available to do it, but I'll have to have a look into it. Next up then we have got Toni Storm. Going to be a big part of our next Universe mode, the NXT UK. Looking forward to finally getting a chance to use her pretty well. Looks a pretty good core as well actually. And finally then we have got Trish Stratus, so adding a legendary feel into this match. So here we go then, Sharai, Toni Storm and Trish Stratus, once again suggested by Reborn Punk 2006. So thank you very much for that one, Reborn Punk. Of course, any other suggestions, random matches, drop them down in the comment section down below, and of course they will get added into the hat, and if yours gets pulled out, you get a shout out in the process. Anyway, we are underway. Good match this one. Of course, Toni Storm and Sharai both very much in the up and coming brackets of WWE at this point in time. Of course, Toni Storm is an NXT UK, I believe she's the NXT UK Women's Champion at this point in time. And of course, Sharai is starting to work NXT TV as well, which is pretty cool. I would imagine that we'll see Kairi Sane move up to the main roster at some point pretty soon. I have seen that she has been working some SmackDown house shows, so maybe that is the beginning of her transition up onto that main roster. I feel like there just needs to be a whole boost onto the main roster, which is what they were trying to do, but I don't really agree with some of the NXT wrestlers they moved up. I mean, some of them were... I think they moved up some NXT wrestlers that were good, but they weren't really going to affect NXT too much. So people like EC3, Lacey Evans, Nikki Cross, they weren't really core NXT names. They're people that could be used at a pay-per-view, but not necessarily. So moving up wasn't a massive problem. However, I have seen rumours that SmackDown might be moving up to a 3-hour show. If they do, then surely SmackDown will need to bolster the roster somewhat. Or maybe they could try using Sanity for a change, you know. That could work quite nicely. And there's a neckbreaker by Trish Stratus on Sharai. Oh, sorry, that was Toni Storm on Sharai. Now Trish Stratus is here. Just a quick one as well. I really appreciated this year's Women's Royal Rumble better than last year's. Last year, they tried to bring in a lot of legends, which is not a problem. However, there was just too many legends in my opinion, and a lot of them just were not good enough in the ring. I mean, the up-and-coming women have worked so hard to turn women's wrestling away from this whole diva stuff into what it is now, and to sort of just put all these divas in the match was sort of counterproductive in my opinion. So this year I think was a hell of a lot better. Sharai, Kairi Sane, Rhea Ripley, it was just a much better show in my opinion. And of course that Ninja Warrior woman, she was amazing. She was really, really good, that Ninja Warrior woman. I can't wait to see her more on NXT television, or is she going to be some sort of, I don't know, I'm hoping she does well. Anyway, enough random bullcrap. Let's get on to the match we've got here for you today. As Toni Storm just spears Trish Stratus off the apron. Now, this could be a great opportunity for one of these two women to take advantage, while one of the opponents is already grounded, as Toni Storm drops Sharai flat on her face. I'm sure this match would have taken place a few times to stardom between these two. Nice running knee strike there by Toni Storm. Is she taking advantage of the situation? Drops into the pin. Trish Stratus down on the outside. Oh, it's only enough for a 2 count. It was pretty close though, wasn't it? Pretty damn close. Big elbows into the head there by Toni Storm as Trish Stratus does make her way back into the ring. Catches Sharai. Now Stratus taking Toni Storm onto the shoulder. Drops her face first. Into the pin. 1, 2, and only 1 count. Wow. I will say though, for what I was saying earlier about the Royal Rumble last year, I don't include Trish Stratus and Lita in that. Those two obviously deserve to be in that match. But just for me, people like Kelly and people like that they were just not right there, really. And I appreciate Molly Holly as well. But yeah, people like Kelly for me it just wasn't good enough. I mean, they tried their hardest, don't get me wrong, to be legit wrestlers, but it just wasn't high enough quality for me. Nice backbreaker there by Toni Storm. Lovely move on Trish Stratus, but Sharai back up on her feet to break it up almost instantly. Big uppercuts here on Sharai. Went for the running knee strike and Sharai dodged it. So I have said before as well that we will look at potentially doing an all-female roster at some point in our universe modes, if that is something that interests you. That would be SWE Evolution. And will involve a full female roster utilising, of course, all of the women on the game, plus Legends, plus Indie, Japan, all that sort of stuff, NXT UK. So it would be a really interesting one to do at some point, whether we get round to it or not, because, say, New Japan's a longer one at the moment. I feel like NXT UK is going to be a longer one as well, and then we'll go back to the standard sizes, but depends how long it takes us to get through them all, I suppose. There's a lot of stuff I still want to do. There's NXT UK, there's Lucha Underground, Impact, potentially AEW as well, be pretty cool to do. Nice Trish there, nice taking it down with the Stratus. Is that the Stratus faction? I'm never too sure with Trish's moves, to be honest. Stratus Arana. There's that running knee strike once again by Toni Storm. I feel like that might be our finisher, you know. There's the pin. Shirai's down the outside. She slides back in the ring. Will she get there in time? She doesn't need to as Trish kicks out on the 2. Yes, there's a lot of things still potentially looking at for our universe mode. I like the idea of PWG as well at some point. Shirai dropping Toni Storm with the crunchy. That's what I can't wait for as well. Can you imagine when we're going to get our first Io Shirai versus Kairi Sane match? That is going to be Kairi Insane, that is. Shirai gets her in the back. Straight jacket German on Trish Stratus. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. I thought that might have won it there, you know. Shirai brings Trish back up to her feet. Looking for the forearm. Trish with a boot in the guts. Trish now dragging Shirai up against the ropes. And Toni Storm just swinging and hitting. Storm now hip toss on Io Shirai. A boot in the gut of Trish now takes her up. Butterfly powerbomb. That's a finisher, I think, isn't it? Well, it's not enough still, though. Only a 2 count. Wow. Great resilience being shown by these 3 ladies. I do enjoy a good triple threat on this match, I must admit. Triple threats and fatal 4-ways are both pretty good on this year's game. They used to be awful, but I'm really happy the way they've worked them out of the previous few years. There's a pin now by Trish. 1. Only a 1 count. Trish now sending Io Shirai into the corner. Shirai there with a DDT on Trish Stratus. Shirai now brings Toni Storm back up to her feet. Big slap. And now into that straight jacket German this time on Toni Storm. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Storm now back up at her feet with Io Shirai trading chops. Shirai gets on the back of Toni Storm. Looking for that 1916 or reverse Bloody Sunday, whatever you will. There's the pin by Toni Storm. Broken up by Trish Stratus from behind. Trish with a big overhand on Toni Storm. Now sends it into the corner. Trish gets close to the big chop to Toni Storm. Drags her away from the corner into the tornado DDT. Toni Storm rolls away as Trish drops into the pin on Io Shirai. It's only there for a 2 count though. But with Toni Storm outside the ring, this is Trish's opportunity to try and pin Io Shirai. To show the legend is still in control. There's the pin. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. You know what's a weird thing for me now? And I think so a few of you out there might be the same as me. You might be a little bit older. I'm 30 years old now. And it's a really weird thing for me to see that like wrestlers from when I got into wrestling. Wrestlers like when I first started watching wrestling, like the Hall of Fame would be wrestlers from like years ago. They were like old wrestlers. And now all of a sudden wrestlers that go into the Hall of Fame are wrestlers from my generation. like Trish Stratus and Goldberg and people like that. They're the wrestlers that I used to watch when I was younger. And now they're the ones to go in the Hall of Fame. It then I make you feel old, I tell you. Io Shirai now takes Toni Storm up on her shoulder, but Storm fights back. Had the same thing with football as well, as if you're American. Soccer. When I was younger, all the footballers in all the football teams used to be older than me, no matter who they were. And now all of a sudden, I'm older than nearly all the footballers. It's really weird to think that. I'm 6 years older than Paul Pogba. It's crazy. He's done much better of his life than I am as well. Trish now into a submission. Of course, no rope breaks, no disqualifications, of course, in a triple threat match. So Trish could have held that submission for longer if she wanted to. Trish with a big elbow in the knee of Toni Storm. Now takes Toni up onto that top turnbuckle. Trish there with a Frankensteiner. I don't think that is the Stratus faction, is it? The Stratus faction is the Springboard Bulldog. But she's too tired to go for the pin. Now Io Shirai's back up on her feet. And Io Shirai, take my strong hand. Io Shirai's got a gammy arm. Is it oh, it's fixed now. We're fine. Trish now taking Shirai down. Io Shirai fighting back with a boot in the gut. Trish, though, catching Shirai with a right hand. Drags it along to the ropes. I am assuming I'm pronouncing the name correctly, I must admit, because I've always pronounced it from reading it. I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. Toni Storm now, big backdrop on Trish. And Toni Storm can take advantage after Trish just hit the Stratus faction, maybe, on Io Shirai. And it is, oh, I thought she'd stolen the victory. From Trish, but no, Io Shirai had enough yet to kick out. Massive clothesline there on Toni Storm. Big boot in the gut. Storm back up as well. Storm now catching Io Shirai. Butterfly powerbomb. There's the pin. 1, 2. Trish is too far away. It's only a 2. Wow. What a match this has been. I mean, there might be a few people out there that won't click on this match because they're not interested in women's wrestling. But I'm a big fan of women's wrestling, and I must admit, this has been one of the top random matches of this year. So thank you very much once again, Reborn Punk 2006. It was a great suggestion. And of course, while I'm here, any of the random match suggestions, drop them down in the comment section down below. And of course, if yours gets pulled out, you get a shout out in the process. I could be one of those like weird YouTubers that like blackmail you all as well. Only you'll get your name picked out if you're liked and subscribed to this video. I love those ones. They're so obviously bogus. It's like you can't even see who's liked your video. There's no way of checking who has liked your video and who hasn't. There's no way of checking that. I mean, you can check subscribers, but not likes. So don't fall for those YouTubers that tell you have to like and subscribe to the video, because they're lying to you. Nice forearm there by Toni Storm. Into the pin once again at Io Shirai. There it is. 1, 2. Still only a 2 count. This match is never actually going to end, is it? All these ladies so desperate to get the victory and showcase what they can do. Shirai slides at the back, reverse DDT by Toni Storm. Now Storm brings Shirai back up to her feet. And again, she's got a great position here because Trish Stratus is down on the outside. So she can get a high impact maneuver and get a pin. This could be enough for Toni Storm to get the victory. Storm taking Shirai up high. Io Shirai. Yeah, it's bad, wasn't it? And what's this? A super butterfly suplex by Toni Storm. Oh, wow. Just as Storm was getting back up to her feet, Trish just belted her with a drop kick in the face. But Toni Storm straight back up. Fighting Trish Stratus. Trish fighting back with the big elbows in the gut of Toni Storm. Storm fighting back there with the super kick in the gut. And again, she's just that little bit quicker than Trish Stratus. Knee in the face as well. Trish just flopped like a sack of spuds as now Storm stalking Trish. But Io Shirai is back up on her feet on the outside. She's coming back into the ring. Oh, and Toni Storm was going for the butterfly powerbomb. And Sharai caught of a dropkick right in the face. And now Sharai going after Trish Stratus. I think both these ladies obviously desperate to win, but at the same time thinking to themselves, if we can get a pinfall over Trish, that's going to be that much tiny bit more expansive, because people will know we pinned such a name. It's like that elusive victory over John Cena that people want. Once you've got that victory over John Cena, that shows you've been elevated. Until you face Brock Lesnar, obviously, and you get destroyed. Go on, Toni, do something. Do something, Toni. Don't just stand there and stare at your opponents. It does this every now and again in the game. It just can't decide what to do. It was like, why? Just hit your finisher and go for the pin. You could have won there, Toni. Look how long both your opponents are down for. You could have won here, but instead you decided to stand there and do absolutely bugger all. This is why we're uploading Fire Pro Wrestling, to try and get away from some of this glitchiness. Trish back in the ring. Still just staring at Toni Storm, who now hits Trish in the gut and a running knee strike. But she goes to the pin now as Shirai's back up on her feet. It's just... why are you so slow and stupid this game? Doing the gut, went for the dropkick. Shirai avoids it. Strikes left, right and centre between these two. And into that German suplex out of nowhere by Shirai. And Trish is trying to jump in the pin. Shirai was stuck in some sort of stamina emote, so wasn't able to actually break that, which is annoying enough, isn't it? Straight jacket, German, but pointless because Trish has stood there. But if Trish can take this opportunity, she'll be able to steal a win here. If she actually goes for the Stratus faction herself while Storm is down. There it is. This could be Trish's chance to win, surely. Both her opponents have just taken massive maneuvers. And surely Trish for the 1, the 2, and... what? No way. This is unacceptable. Stay down. Trish went for... I don't know why that's much better as a powerbomb. I don't know why he was going for that alley-oop. I don't like it. Go as a powerbomb. Trish is looking for it again, but Toni Storm fighting back. She went for the knee strike once again. Storm now catches Trish, brings her back up to her feet. Again, you've got to take advantage while Shirai's down. Storm sends Trish into the far corner. Trish fighting back. Storm with the elbow. Now looking for that spinning neck breaker. There's the pin. Shirai is back up on her feet though and breaks it straight away. Drop kick to the ankle by Storm. Shirai fighting back. Now Shirai taking Storm up on her shoulders and into the air raid slam. Is that going to be enough? No. Didn't even go for the pin. But the submission might be the cloverleaf submission locked in here by Shirai on Toni Storm. Trish is down and out. Storm does not tap. She fights out. Wow. This stage in the match, those are almost normally always submissions. Butterfly powerbomb. Trish, though, is back up. And a kick right in the spine of Toni Storm breaks that pin. Storm now in with the dragon screw on Trish. Now rolls to the outside of the ring. Toni Storm showing that she is in control. But she needs to finish off her opponents. Shirai with the jawbreaker. Right hand and now locks it in. There's the straight jacket German. 1, 2. Trish is on the outside. It's still only a 2. What? This is insane. This match should have finished ages ago. Storm sends Shirai into the... I don't understand why this match is going so long. People are just not staying down for finishers. I mean, everyone's used their finisher about 5 or 6 times now. Trish with the backdrop on Toni Storm. Discus right hand, and I don't think Trish really wants to go in with a striking battle with Shirai, but she managed to get out with that Hurricane Rana. There's the pin. You watch now, right? After all these finishers, it would be a terrible move to finish the game, and it is. Trish Stratus wins with a Hurricanrana. Not a finisher maneuver, nothing like that. That annoys when it does that. It does it so often as well. It's like you get this far in the match, everyone's hit their finisher maneuvers, locking in like finishing submissions, everyone kicks out and doesn't tap, and then all of a sudden you get one simple maneuver and it gets the victory. Either way, it was a cracking match. Trish Stratus wins it with a Hurricanrana, which is not one of her normal moves, so she'd have to go outside of her arsenal to get that victory. But it was a good win. It was a great match. Once again, thank you very much to Reborn Punk for your suggestion. Of course, any of your random match suggestions, please do drop them down in the comment section down below. And of course, you will get a shout out in the process if your match is recorded and uploaded. I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon for our next random match, or of course, in our New Japan or 205 Live Universe modes. Bye.